Watch what's approaching, the supreme moment. Reality striking closer than it seems, don't it?
What's good? Okay, so let's get started with this one. Now, for those that aren't aware of this unit, this is another unit that's been a real throwback, older type unit that came out again with the Arare crossover banner. So, this is of course the hero of Penguin Village, Supaman, aka Sourman in the English version. Again, this is one of those Dr. Slump characters, and he's a very funny guy, to say the least. He's a clown, actually, but I gotta love the comedic relief that he brought to the manga. So, let's go ahead and cover the stats, and we'll talk about the unit itself afterwards. Leader skill is physical type, HP and defense increase of 60%. The super attack will cause supreme damage to enemy while sacrificing 7% HP. The passive skill is when HP is 50% or above, Ki +5, and all enemies attack and defense minus 20%. So, I mean, decent enough passive there. I don't know how much you'd obviously use this guy, but you know, it's somewhat of a useful passive skill there. The links are pretty terrible, not gonna lie. Coward is +1 Ki, Hero is 20% increase to defense, Patrol is +2 Ki, Flee is +1 Ki when HP is 30% or below. I don't even know why this link skill still exists. Signature Pose is +2 Ki, and Penguin Village Adventure is 15% increase to attack. This guy finally actually falls into a category, Childhood Saga being the sole category for this unit. Again, 100% potential, HP is 15,057, attack is 12,272, and defense is 9,155, 12 Ki Multiplier is 130%. This unit, again, is one of those unicorns in the game. I guess a lot of people don't really know about this unit, I'm guessing, but there probably is a fair share amount of people that actually do know this unit, just because you've probably been playing for several years. Now, the backstory with this unit is Supaman. In the Japanese version, what the name is, Supa is like a shortened, I wouldn't say slang, but a shortened way of saying it's sour, or damn, that's sour. So, you know, Supaman sounds awfully familiar to another American hero, you know what I mean? So, it's a play on words, and you gotta love Toriyama Akira for creating gag characters like this, you know what I'm saying? So, just ask General Blue what the deal was with this guy back in Penguin Village, and I'm sure he'll tell you a very good story about how he was talking some shit, and then he got shook real fast, you know? Ain't no half-stepping, you know what I'm saying? So, anyways, back to the unit. It really isn't a relevant unit, honestly. It's just one of those unique, obscure units, and I'm sure, you know, a lot of people have been wondering how this guy is, because this unit was introduced before the potential system rolled out. Again, with the similar units that you've seen, like the General Blue and Mercenary Tao and some of the Arale units, these guys are max level at 100. Except for a couple of the Arale units. They did get Dokkan Awakens to you know, level 120, but the rest of these guys really are stuck at max level 100. You know, honestly, they do need to bring this banner back at the end of the day. They really should. It only came out once, and we've never seen it since, so I think, you know, it'd be nice to be able to see this come back. You know, it's one of those collector's items, definitely. I think most people just want to see how this unit is at 100% just for shits and giggles, honestly. But again, we do have the new Childhood Saga category, so, you know, a pretty big boost, 170% just to attack. So, you know, I mean, the rest of the stats are obviously going to help. But, you know, at the same time, like, it really is one of those situations where, like, is the 170% boost to attack, defense, and HP all across the board even worth it to run this guy? The obvious answer is no, absolutely not. It's probably not even worth to Rainbow, besides the fact that you want to add this unit to your collection of rainbowed characters in your deck. Now, it's certainly an interesting unit in terms of, you know, the passive skill itself. Again, the link skills are definitely pretty bad. You'll have a hard time linking with some other units, you know, outside of this Childhood Saga category, even maybe, I don't know, like, like if you were trying to run a super physical type team or even a super team, you would definitely struggle building a team around this guy. But Fortunately, Childhood Saga, you know, there are a lot of units that do have the Penguin Village Adventure link skill. So, you know, he does okay in terms of output. I mean, if you look at it from a pure standpoint of supporting type cast for this guy, you know, he does give himself 5 Ki with HP being above 50%. So, you know, chances are he's going to be able to super quite a bit. But at the same time, he will be sacrificing 7% HP for every super attack performed. So you do have to keep that in mind as well. Again, this is really one of those units that I think it just comes down to the fact that it's a rare unit and people just want to potentially rainbow this guy just for shits and giggles, like I said. You know, I mean, it's a funny ass character. I loved him in the crossover in Dragon Ball. You know, both the manga and anime. It was probably one of the best episodes in the entire history of Dragon Ball, if I'm being honest. You know what I mean? Like, it was just that funny. Like, reading it was great. Watching the anime was just as much fun. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's for those that haven't seen it, you have to watch it. If you're a fan of Dragon Ball, you do have to watch that specific episode. It's hilarious, and a lot of stuff goes down. Again, this guy was, you know, he's like, you know, you know, he's a clown. That's all I can say. And you know, the super attacks and the card art itself definitely suggests that. So I'm sure you get the idea of what kind of character this guy actually is. But you know, it's definitely very nice to have units like this exist in the game. I think it adds more flavor, honestly, and things are much more interesting that way. So I'm certainly happy that, you know, the characters and cards like this finally get a chance to shine with these new categories. I think that's a very good thing that Bandai and Akatsuki are doing for Dokkan Battle. You know, it's definitely a very good thing to provide more, you know, diversity in terms of, you know, cards to be able to use. Now, I'm going to say that this card is really not that great, so you're not going to use it often, but at least you get the opportunity to use the unit, you know what I'm saying? So that's a pretty key change, I think. You know, it gets a little bit boring when you're just constantly using, you know, the best and strongest units in the game and plowing through events or whatever the case is. It's every now and then it's nice to switch things up and just run a really fun team to run. Like, for example, for me, I actually really love running the Agility Meta Cooler team with, you know, the free-to-play Meta Cooler units, including the LR version. They're actually pretty powerful, and they could run through, like, for example, I ran through Boss Rush 6 without much trouble. They're actually a very good, very solid team overall because they help each other out, essentially. And on average, you know, each of the free-to-play Meta Cooler units can hit for roughly about, I'd say 700,000 on average, so that's attack potential, not the actual damage output. But you know, I love running teams like this, and I can certainly see this guy being utilized to some extent. Highly doubtful, but it's certainly possible. The other thing too is the agility Arale unit that you see there is actually pretty good as well. And you know, all these units do get the full boost of 170%, so you're talking about a very substantial, you know, increase the stats for these units. So it essentially gives them, it brings them back to life a little bit, and for me, I'm very happy about that. There's not much to say about LR Goku and Arale that you haven't really heard already. It's an amazing unit, especially on this category. Very solid, very powerful. You're looking at, you know, attack stat potentials anywhere from 2.7 million upwards of like 3.4 million, I think, in terms of attack stats, and the damage applied will obviously change, but you know, it's a very good unit. It does have that nuking passive with the Rainbow Ki collected. Final product at LR version, 30% increase for every Rainbow Ki collected toward attack. I can't remember if it was both attack and defense, but at the very least, attack will get an increase to that level. You also get a Ki boost based on Rainbow Ki collected too, so a very good unit. It's definitely worth the rainbow. Certainly do so if you haven't. But you know, back to the Supaman or Sourman. Yeah, it's. I think this unit was waiting for the right time to be showcased. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the first time this unit actually falls into a category, so it's you know, it's been long overdue. Honestly, I don't know why they took so long to. Well, I kind of know why, because nobody uses this unit anyway, amongst some of the other ones. But you know, I think, in all honesty, every unit should have one category included. You know, for example, like the strength, you know, Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta and Bulma unit, or Rage Vegeta. You know, it took a while for that unit to fall into a category finally with Vegeta's lineage. So, you know, I think, you know, starting off every unit, they ought to at least have one category for each one. You know, it just makes sense to do so. But anyways, yeah, this is the clown-ass Sourman unit at 100% potential. I'm sure this is a first for a lot of you guys, and hopefully you enjoyed the video. As always, I do appreciate you guys watching. I'll continue to work on some more content later on, and hopefully you guys continue to enjoy the videos and showcases. All right, I'll catch you guys later.